Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Video Clips. And just some things I'll remind you about. The book, COVID Operation, which I co-authored with Shane Pryor, is out and it's doing well. And I'm getting great feedback. Thank you for those of you who've read it and taken the time to email me and tell me what you think about it. We're pretty happy with it. I have to say I'm very proud of this book and very glad that we spent the time to write it. And our intent was to make it really easy to understand this very complicated thing that's happening to all of us, right? So anyway, if you haven't already gotten it, you can buy it on Amazon, both in Kindle electronic format. You can buy it in paperback. You can get it from us in paperback and we'll autograph it for you. And then for those of you in some countries where you've had trouble buying it online, we have an e-version that you can get at WellnessForumHealth.com. A couple things I'll remind you about. The Forbidden newsletter goes out on Monday and you have to be a subscriber. And the Forbidden videos, we don't send them out. I post them at Wellness Forum Health and I do one of those per week. And the forbidden stuff is the stuff that is likely to get censored and that sort of thing. So I just don't go there on this channel and in some other environments in which I'm talking. And, you know, it's a shame we have to do that, but, you know, it is the way things are. And then just a couple of other things I'll remind you of is Make Americans Free Again. I'm doing conference calls every Thursday at noon just for updates. And we're specifically starting to form state organizations with a state leader or a couple, 3 state leaders who come together to build the infrastructure that it's going to take to file the lawsuits and that sort of thing that are going to ultimately end all of this that are going on. So makeamericansfreeagain.com. If you haven't registered at our website, do that. Tune into the conference calls. Everything we've done, even the event that we had here with our attorney back in October, it's on that website. So you can go listen and watch and all that sort of thing. So check out, there's a lot of information already there about what we're doing and the strategy that we're using and that sort of thing. So just some things to update you about. And Thursday night at our office tonight, 6 p.m., MAFA meetings, Make Americans Free Again, every Thursday night. And we're starting to establish those all over the country. We've got to get people getting together, finding each other, attracting others, and making things better in our country. It's our job to take care of our country as citizens, and that's what we're doing. And we want to help you with it, but you guys have to gather yourselves together, and you do have to register at makeamericansfreeagain.com. All right, so I want to talk about a couple of issues here. And I thought that this was really poignant. This person wrote to me and said, the video titled Chronic Health Instead of Chronic Disease. That was from David Katz's article, David is speaking at our conference next week. We're very pleased to have him as part of our 25th anniversary celebration. Anyway, the video titled Chronic Health Instead of Chronic Disease struck the biggest chord with me. I'm absolutely baffled by the number of people who are now suddenly worried about their health. There's a lady I know who's a bit overweight and struggles with her health in general and also has asthma. She continues to eat a poor diet, to smoke, and to take no exercise. Yet her Facebook posts mostly consist of how selfish people are who don't properly social distance or wear masks. I bumped into a friend yesterday who's truly lovely. He was wearing a mask and talking about how he was very happy working from home and going to the gym when there was hardly anyone else there. This friend is diabetic and has always struggled with his weight. He had put on more weight and he was the biggest I have seen him in the whole time I have known him. I had to stop myself from asking why he was bothering with a mask when surely losing weight would protect him more. These are just 2 examples of the madness of the virus. If people are worried about their health now, why on earth weren't they before? I can't get my head around this. It seems that those people who are already a strain on our health service or are likely to be in the future are the ones who are doing the most complaining. I live in a tiny British island between England and France called Jersey. Yes, we are the original Jersey, she writes, and I don't think I've come across a single article in our 2 main newspapers discussing how we can be healthier or what we can do to boost our immune systems. We're very fortunate that there aren't too many restrictions, although we can't travel and come back without a 2-week quarantine. So And then to finish, I don't like to sound judgmental as I'm not perfect myself. I like cake and biscuits and chocolate just like everyone else. However, I'm a runner. I eat well most of the time. I hardly drink and I don't smoke. I work hard and strive to be my best whenever I possibly can. This doesn't make me invincible, but surely gives me the best chance when it comes to fighting illness. And I think that this is an excellent point. You know, one of my criticisms of this entire debacle and the way that it has been handled is the fact that public health, the job of public health is mitigation, to figure out the best ways to get the best results while harming the fewest people. And that certainly has not been what's going on. But also to actually make people feel empowered. What can you do to make a difference? And I think that we've missed a great teaching opportunity here that we should start talking more about. A couple of them actually. And I think one of them is the lessons I've taken from COVID. Number one, who has been the most tortured of all of us? Okay, for all the things that I've complained about, it's got to be people living in care homes and nursing homes who've been isolated without family and friends, and sometimes without even appropriate care. I mean, I've had many nursing home employees write to me and say, listen, our setup has never been for the people who work here to provide everything these people need. We have always counted on family and friends to provide companionship and to bring magazines and DVDs and, you know, treats and all that sort of thing. And that's not going on. All right, so why do I bring that up? Well, I'm 64 years old. I don't want to end up in a nursing home. And I can't guarantee that that's not going to happen, but I can work really hard to make sure it doesn't happen. I can exercise every day, almost every day. I can eat well, I can stay lean, I can take care of myself and drink enough water and sleep well. And, you know, I can think of a lot of things that I can do to keep myself out of the nursing home. When something else, if God forbid, ever something like this happens again, I don't want to be there, right? I don't have to end up there. I think the second thing that we could take away from this is that people who are overweight and sick are more vulnerable to side effects, not necessarily death in all cases, but definitely to severe versions of the flu. And by the way, it's always been that way. And I'll just share something kind of interesting with you. I used to be fat and I used to be unhealthy. And I remember times when even a cold I'd take to the couch for 3 days when I had a cold. And the last couple of times I've had the flu, it seems like every 6 or 7 years I'm vulnerable. And in both situations, I think it's 3 times actually in the last 25 years. And in all 3 situations, I can tell you I was stressed and sleep deprived and, you know, stuff going on. And one time it was when we were building this place, which was it wasn't an awful experience, but it was stressful and it was really expensive. Well, anyway, I got the flu for a few hours, not days, not weeks, a few hours. And then I was exhausted for a day from having the flu. And then I came back to work like the next day. And that's such a far cry. When I was younger, a cold caused me more difficulty than the flu after I started taking care of myself. So to the point, one of the reasons I wanted to read this particular communication from this particular woman is that she's very right about this. If people are concerned about their health and if they're really concerned about the effect of COVID, how about we put into practice the things that would really make the most sense in response to that? And her suggestions about focusing on diet and exercise and that sort of thing and not smoking and not drinking too much are well taken, I think. And then the other thing, there's a lot of insanity going on, I think, out there about what to do about holidays. And I've said from the beginning, this idea of separating humans from one another is not a very good one for a variety of reasons. And the longer it's gone on, the worse idea it happens to be. And there was a great editorial in the New York Post, and it said, the title was, "Yes, you should travel to see family for Thanksgiving. Yes, even if you have to travel out of state to do it. In case you're wondering, yes, I've heard of the pandemic, and yet I repeat, go see your family on Thanksgiving." Last Tuesday, Mayor Bill de Blasio urged New Yorkers not to travel for the holidays to see their family members. 2 weeks earlier, His Honor had skipped Columbus Day celebrations in the city because, according to his spokesperson, the mayor is out of state visiting family today. I think the first thing I would say about this is I'm so sick and tired of the do as I say, not as I do, different rules for the ruling class, which I never thought we'd have a ruling class here in the United States, but we seem to right now. Never mind getting angry about his hypocrisy. Back to the editorial. Just do as de Blasio did, not as he said. Look, we've made some major mistakes in our handling of the COVID-19 crisis, and the main one has been discarding everything that makes our life worth living out of fear of the virus. The pandemic has the potential to destroy our way of life if we keep dismissing everything important to us. Family is important. We shouldn't forget that. And I think this is very important. In order to save lives, we've created a life that nobody wants to live. And it's not ironic, it's cruel, actually. I say this precisely because I listen to scientists. We aren't signing up for a short-term spell inside baking banana bread like we believed we were doing in March. Remember those days? The virus will be with us for long term, the scientists say, and so we must adjust our lives accordingly. And adjusting must mean not discarding the things that truly matter to a rational and social animal like the human being, family, community, and worship. Look, I'm not saying to go to an underground nightclub or up against complete strangers and then go see grandma, but I don't think you should live in a bubble. If you're flying for Thanksgiving, find out where you can get a fast test on arrival and quarantine for 24 hours until you get your results. COVID-19 isn't going to jump out from behind a corner and surprise you. We know what to do. Be safe, not insane. I take a little bit of issue with the testing, but I think her intent, and I didn't want to cherry pick her comments, so I included everything, but I think her intent is really important, that we have got to learn how to go back to living, because if you're not in the process of, if you're not living, you're actually doing the opposite, which is slowly dying. And I don't want to see our families, our communities, our churches, our synagogues, our entire society crumble over this. I think that's the intention, but I don't want to see that happen. So I wanted to share that with you. And yes, I will be spending Thanksgiving with other humans. I try to spend as much time as I can with other humans, because we are, as humans, social creatures after all. All right, I think that's it for today. As usual, pass this on to someone or many somebodies who you think might enjoy learning more about this entire debacle that we're going through. And of course, I'll be back to you tomorrow with more news and more information. Thank you for watching.